Okay, hello. So I've decided to come back on here and upload a video. I'm a little nervous. I don't think I've ever made a video without being a little nervous, but I guess I'll start by, uh, updating you on what I've been up to. And, the last video I made, I believe, was one about manifestation and how I had success with it and how it went just as it was supposed to. I learned about it from the book by, oh, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Yeah. And did the exercise, and it worked. I mean, financially, that's the last thing that I thought would happen. And that's just like they say, they say it'll come as a surprise. You won't expect it. And indeed, that's what it was like. So when the financial windfall came, then I really relaxed. I just kind of shut down a little bit and got really lazy. And that's part of why I haven't been on here. But I guess I can't say I was all that lazy because I kept up my mathematical studies the whole time, almost every day, a study session with mathematics and physics. And also, my big dog, the Anatolian Shepherd named Toby, and you've seen him in some of my earlier videos out in the yard. He keeps me exercising for sure, because if he doesn't get a lot of exercise every day with me, he goes nuts. Right now, he's sleeping, although, he tends to wake up suddenly and bark, so you may hear that. But, right, I've kept up the mathematical studies. Right now, I am studying group theory, basically the tool set, the toolbox for physics. And, I can't say that what I'm right now looking into is all that exciting. I mean, it's things like equivalence classes and how, with finite sets and finite groups, you can set up these equivalence classes where you get a bunch of numbers that are all related to each other and can be considered equivalent, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, right now it's not so much the exciting stuff, but the idea is that I build this tool set that I can use in my studies. And why do I study mathematics and physics? Well, for one thing, it's my special interest. And, I don't know if I've mentioned it in other videos, but I am a little bit neurospicy. And, I've really come to understand that, especially since I stopped all my masking and got out of the career of medicine. I was masking so much in order to be able to function in the money making 3D human world. So, mathematics, physics, that's my special interest. And so I look into it deeper and deeper. And, I have such interest not only in the philosophy embedded in mathematics and in life in general. But what it tells me about the spiritual world, you know, the integers are infinite. The rational numbers are infinite. And yet, when you compare the rational numbers with all the real numbers, very small amount. What I've learned to say is that the rational numbers are not dense within the real numbers. Well, I think that in the same way, this 3D life that we experience and seems so strict and well-defined is really not dense within the greater reality, the spiritual world. I think that what we experience from day to day is really a very small subset of what there is. And I find that exciting. I find that fascinating. That, this life, which seems in a lot of ways mundane, going to the grocery store, getting gas, doing the dishes, cleaning the house, when I was working, doing my charting, sending in the bills so the man could make his money. The patriarchy guy could bring in his millions and billions, etc. That life, which some people might think is 100% of what is, it's not. It's just such a small part, and there is so much else that is not so obvious. In physics, we see hints of this in terms of things like the ghost particles, which show up in quantum field theory, the complex plane, and by extension, 3D complex projective spaces, quaternion fields, so many things. There's just so much else. What did I tell you? There he is. It's Toby. He's barking. Yeah. So, rather than try to go into all this stuff right here and make a huge long video that people might not want to click on, I think I'll kind of keep it short. I mean, what do I explore? The mathematics, the philosophy, the physics, looking for what is hiding in plain sight, but also the spiritual side of it. Some of my videos could be thought of as woo-woo, right? I believe that I have a group of spirit guides who help me figure things out. And, from a mathematical point of view, I believe they place attractors into the complicated dynamic system, which is my brain. So that's one thing, right? I've had some of the paranormal experiences, etc. But, there are mediums on YouTube who have really had those experiences or seem to have. I Mine are much more subtle. Um, and, I'd like to bridge the gap between the spiritual spaces and science. Um, when I talk about quantum healing, for instance, quantum leaps, manifestation, and that sort of thing, uh, academic, credentialed quantum physicists will call it woo woo, and they'll say, I'll bet he doesn't even know how to solve the Schrodinger equation. Uh, well, I have completed a course on the spherically symmetric solutions of the Schrodinger equation and how it gives us these various quantum numbers associated with electron orbitals. So I want to be able to bridge the gap, to be able to talk to quantum physicists about spirituality in terms of quantum physics and not be immediately dismissed, right? But of course, I put the information out there, and I love to discuss these things, whether you think I'm completely nuts or you identify something, a kernel of truth in there, and want to discuss it further. Comment. Leave me some comments. My email is in my channel description, studentoftruth444@gmail.com. Yeah, let's discuss. I am considering putting the Zoom discussion board back up, tea time, so that we can talk about these things. And, well, now that I've made this video, I feel quite a bit more motivated and excited about making more. So with that, I will wish you a good day, and I will see you soon.